A Colin Cowherd says the Detroit Lions will not win the division. Is there truth to this?
I don't know, man. I don't see how you can look at this division and say the Lions aren't the favorite. The Lions aren't going to win it because when you look at the schedule that they play, that was one of his reasons was, they're going to be playing a lot tougher teams. It's like, yeah, so is everyone else in the division. We play the same teams.
Yeah, literally play the same exact
teams. So if I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me when you look at how they finished in the division last year, all the upgrades they made on this roster, the weapons they brought in, the defensive adjustments they made at the end of the season, and then bringing in high-quality defensive backfield pieces. I don't know how you can look at this situation, this division as a whole, and not say the Lions are the favorite.
Yeah, I'm reading this article right now. I know I sent it to you, but I didn't actually get to read it. But it says their chance of finishing on top are slim. Toughness from teams inside the division and dysfunctional factors of Detroit Lions will hold this team back in 2023. Can I? And I'm this is like an open forum. I'm talking about to the Woodward Sports chat, to JB, Detroit to Chris, to you. Yeah, that guy. That's a cousin.
That's a cousin, sure.
What dysfunctional factors?
He wears 2 watches.
Have the Detroit Lions displayed?
Jameson Williams.
Okay, and outside of that,
no.
Like I'm sick of it's lazy.
Yeah,
it's lazy. I mean, literally, their offensive coordinator just went for head coaching rounds and only came back because of a raise and quote unquote to still be a part of what Jared Goff.
So your defensive coordinator, he got interviewed for a head coaching job, but that could have just been a Rooney Rule.
Yeah, that's. You think that was what it was?
Yeah,
I think so too. A little bit. I mean, he did turn the defense around, and maybe after this year, because he actually has some pieces to work with.
Yeah,
guy's second year, in the league, and both of them in the system. So we'll see about that. But that's just lazy journalism. This is TWSN.net. I'm assuming that was like a Canadian website or some shit like that.
Oh yeah,
I don't fucking know. But there's been nothing dysfunctional about this organization outside of Jameson Williams since the new regime's come in. And I'm talking about from like even the tippy top with Sheila.
Yeah,
the fact that they changed the whole field after the players were complaining and getting hurt. I thought she was better than it looked.
Yeah.
Like I saw the reflection, I was like, oh, something's coming. But it wasn't nothing. Like,
wah. Yeah, it was super Starbucks drinker.
No offense to super Starbucks lady, but nonetheless, though, I don't know, man. I'm still checking this article. Chris, JB, I mean, are there dysfunctional factors we're missing?
No, there aren't dysfunctional factors. If you look at it, it's stronger than it's ever been from the top of the front office down. You look at what Sheila Ford Hamp has been doing, bringing back Calvin to the fold, bringing back Barry to the fold, like you said, changing the turf when players were getting injured from it, and then to Brad Holmes, who has been the best drafter in Detroit Lions history already. And then you look at Dan Campbell and how he can galvanize the troops. And on top of that, the entire coaching staff littered with guys who have been in this league, who have done this before, guys that players want to play for. And then you got a team full of leaders. Like, you have a bunch of people all around both sides of the ball that hold others accountable. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's going to hold you accountable. Penei Sewell, he's going to hold you accountable. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, he's going to hold you accountable. Well, Bugs has been Bugs was a voice in that locker room last year. So it's you've got stabilizing pieces in there as players, as coaches, and as front office members. So dysfunctional is the last word I would use to describe the Detroit Lions.
All right, I'm reading this article as you're talking too. Speaking of holding people accountable, the writer of this one, Cam Sanderson, which also sounds like a porn star name. We're going to hold him accountable. I'm going to reach out to Cam and hopefully get him on the show because what the fuck is this? This is crazy. He mentions in the second paragraph the cornerback room got worse. Yeah, that's what. For starters, the Lions defense was one of the worst in the leagues last season. They allowed the most yards per game and finished 28th in points allowed. The cornerback room. The secondary was and still is weak. They signed C.J. Gardner-Johnson to a one-year deal and drafted Brian Branch in the second round, so they should find improvement in the safety room, but the cornerback room is a mess. There's a possibility that Gardner-Johnson moves the cornerback, but if not, the Lions will rely on Cameron Sutton and Emmanuel Mosley to lock down divisional rivals like Justin Jefferson and DJ Moore. The Lions had one of the worst passing defenses last season. They still allowed their cornerback room to get worse.
What the hell did you just say?
What the fuck? Lazy.
So Jeff Okudah is better than Cam Sutton? Is that what you're telling me? That's what you're going to sit there and tell me right now? Jeff Okudah is a better cornerback in this league than Cam Sutton? All right, man. That's all I had to hear.
Jeff Okudah better than Emmanuel Mosley?
No.
Who started on the 49ers defense?
No.
By the way, the Steelers defense, still respectable. Mm-hmm. Still one of the respectable ones in the league. One of the most respectable organizations in the league. Like, that's not even... without even like going deep into like Cam Sutton leading and tying for first place for interceptions and pass breakups last year.
Yeah.
Without going deep into like the stuff that Emmanuel Mosley did with the 49ers.
Nice. Yeah.
I can just look at those defenses and say, hey, this is a starting piece from the number one defense last year.
Yeah.
Another starting piece from like a formidable defense last year. And then you literally just said in your fucking article, it was the worst secondary in the league.
So it can't get worse.
Those are upgrades over the guys that were there previously. I don't listen. Shout out to Flannel Sando for sending the article, but fuck this guy, Cam Sanderson. I try to be respectful of people I'm going to ask onto the show, but Cam Sanderson deserves a fuck you. I don't.
That doesn't make sense at all.
No, you're just again just lazy. And then another thing too is like, okay, you could look at the Lions defense and say that it was worse last year, but if you don't look at the numbers that actually switched around, for instance, the rushing yards against running backs, and maybe I'll save this for a topic tomorrow. I'll have time to actually like give you guys the numbers, but against running backs, only the Carolina Panthers. And I want to say, I think actually it might just been the Carolina Panthers. There's two teams, though, were able to run for over 100 yards in the Detroit Lions post the Green Bay game. Mm-hmm. Literally only two teams. I mean, the Russian defense at that point ranked like number 4, I think, if we were looking at it, at DVOA.
Yeah.
And then you also have to look at the fact that, like, the youngest defense in the entire fucking league.
Yes. A lot of rookies out there.
The only returning pieces of the defense was Aleem McNeil and Alex Anzalone.
Yep.
Like, context matters, guys. That's why I can't. Yeah, I'll talk shit about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. One of their players was like, "Don't sleep on us because we lost Tom Brady."
Yeah.
Brother, you were 8-9 last year.
With the GOAT.
Yeah, go eat a fucking dick. You're gonna be worse this year.
Yeah.
Your quarterback's fucking Baker Mayfield. But that's not lazy on me because Baker Mayfield traditionally has been bad.
Yep.
I mean, maybe lazy. Maybe they added some other pieces. I don't know. But I'm thankful I don't have to report on the rest of the league the way these guys do because they clearly don't do their fucking homework. Mm-hmm. Like, you sound like an idiot.
Yeah, to say the cornerback room got worse from being, they were the last cornerback room rated in the league last year, and they got completely overhauled and they got worse. Like, what? That doesn't even make sense. You can't even spell that out. If you are sitting there telling me that Jeff Okudah is a better player than Cam Sutton, I'm going to tell you politely to eat shit because it's just not true. And I don't know what you're looking into. You didn't mention Kirby Joseph going to take a jump next year because that's where we see a lot of growth in players is from year 1 to year 2. And Kirby Joseph looked pretty damn good last year. You didn't mention Tracy Walker coming back, being a starter on this team for a long time, coming back from injury. I don't know, man. I don't know.
And then back to him, because I'm reading the article again. Like, he's talking about the offensive firepower within the schedule. The names mentioned in the offensive firepower, I mean, obviously there's the ones that are deserving of that. There's the Chargers, Cowboys, Ravens, sure. The other names following those ones?
Cowboys,
Denver Broncos, who had arguably, I think actually not even arguably, like statistically the worst offense last year.
Yeah.
I get they have a new coach. They still got to see it, right? Mm-hmm. Then you have the Chicago Bears, which they led the league in rushing, but only because the quarterback can't throw the fucking ball. Yeah, they got DJ Moore. Still got to prove it. And then you have the fucking Panthers. Yes, the Panthers beat the living shit out of us last year, but like, I'm not putting them as an offensive juggernaut.
No.
To say it's like a threat in the Detroit Lions schedule.
No.
Like, if anything, I feel like they're one of the ones I'm for sure putting an X on because of the ass whooping they received last year. It's a dub they got to get back. This is a team, Dan Campbell said in his introductory press conference, you'll punch us in the mouth, we'll smile back at you. You're going to knock us down, we'll get back and bite your kneecap off. Like, a team like the Panthers go whoop their ass last year, I'm telling you, the Lions face over them again this year, they're beating the living shit out of them.
Oh, for sure.
Kind of similar to the way the Vikings kind of got their ass stomped, too. Like, the Vikings came back into town after they beat us, barely beat us, by the way, too, and their home place. Detroit Lions smacked that ass. Penei Sewell was catching balls against the Minnesota Vikings.
That's true.
Like, it's, I don't know, man. Just lazy journalism, I guess. And I get maybe there's a lot to report on when you're covering the entire league, but
You gotta try a little bit harder.
please,
Gotta try a little bit harder.
please. This is my man Luke G. Do your research.